Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Rewatchers Council. And as you can tell, that the theme music actually started in the right place and ended probably at an appropriate time. Adelia is back this week. Adelia, how are you?
I'm good. Did you forget to take it off loop or something?
I think I did for like at least the exit or whatever, the outro or whatever it is. Whoops. But I think I did. You know what? I held my own, I think, a little bit. I think I did okay.
You
Now,
did just fine.
oh my gosh. Well, speaking of back, Buffy's back after a long summer.
Mhm.
Gone, Adelia. Season 2. Ah, we're gonna miss it. The good news is season 3 is starting this week. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it's the episode we're covering. Uh, yeah, it runs a theme of Buffy not being around very much for the or at the very beginning at least for season openers. But
It does.
we'll get into that and more in a bit because there's a whole summer. A whole summer's passed. This one's original air date, September 28th, 98. All right. So that's almost exactly, what is it? 26 years ago. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Written and directed by the showrunner. The number one movie this week in your North America, mine as well, I guess. Rush Hour.
Hey, you are also part of North America. I'm sorry.
Yes, Rush Hour was the number one movie. I don't know if you consider it a classic, but a lot of people liked it. So some of the movies we missed over the summer, we didn't get to talk about. Dealing
Okay.
Armageddon. Armageddon was a big hit that
Remember
summer.
that one?
Saving Private Ryan.
Big hit. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Blade was out that week.
hmm
hmm the thing I'll remember most about Blade is after my buddy and I went to go see it on an afternoon showing. We were driving home, and there was a police chase on foot happening right in front of our car. So there you go.
That's funny.
Also, There's Something About Mary came out last summer.
Oh yeah.
I have a quick story about that too, where I was invited to go see one of the sneak previews for it. And
hmm
when you're walking into the theater, they give you like a grab bag of swag. You know what I mean? Just like merch. One of the things they give you was these things of hair gel, and they say individually portioned. So if you ever watch the movie, you'll know that number one song in the United States of America. Speaking of Armageddon, I don't want to miss a thing. The moment that Aerosmith ceased to exist in my eyes. That was the last of its 4 weeks at number one, for goodness sakes. But really, there's only one song to cover. In the summer of 98, The Boy Is Mine, we missed. Number one
Yeah.
for 13 weeks. It was number one for 3 months. So there you go. It was
Yeah.
basically in the span of the time they were gone. Brandy and Monica, what a hit. And I still listen to it today. Now, before we started the show, I had to go jump onto Spotify real quick because the number one song in Britain that week was I Want You Back by Mel B featuring Missy Elliott. I wanted to see if it was like another remake of a Jackson 5 song, R.I.P. Tito, by the way. It is not. It is just some song, and it's forever going to be gross. It's not a good song. It was from a movie, too. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I've never heard it. So
Mel B's number one hit without the Spice Girls. Number one song in Canada, Crush by Jennifer Page. I'm
I
sure
know
you know
that
it
song.
if you heard it.
No.
The song we just missed was Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls.
That was another big hit. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't miss Iris, I can tell you that. Not a huge Goo Goo Dolls guy.
Yeah.
The second most famous act out of Buffalo, New York. I'll say that.
Okay.
The one song we just missed out of the UK was Millennium by Robbie Williams. So there you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, all right. Are you done talking about the summer? Are you ready to get back
Yes.
what we're here for goodness sakes, Delia? Okay. Well, the DVD synopsis first. She's now living in the big city. Buffy helps a woman whose boyfriend has mysteriously disappeared. While back in Sunnydale, her friends battle the forces of evil on their own. So, yeah, there you go. Fine. It's a synopsis. Now,
Somewhat right. So,
yeah, it's if you boil it down to its simplest forms, it's right. Okay, speaking of being right, that goes nowhere because I'm just going to say, yeah, again, we start off Buffy not present in Sunnydale again. So the Scoops have decided it's up to them to do some vampire slaying, I suppose.
mhm.
So they're waiting by a recently dead person named Andrew Holick. I'm imagining that's how you spell his name because it's Hoelich, and those letters should not be put together. I've decided. Anyways, I don't know how they know this guy is going to rise from the dead, but yeah, they were right. So you get to see his hands start coming out. A bit of a hero pose from Willow here, which is nice.
Mhm.
And then, her little quip here. That's right, big boy. Come and get it.
Sure.
Yeah, not a fan of that. All right.
No.
She didn't workshop it. I guess she could have. Xander and Oz, trying to take him down, but fail. He starts to run away easily. I love the dramatic music as Oz readies his stake to throw at him. And then it was like, oh yeah, this guy's a musician, not much of an athlete. He barely makes it to the next gravestone. So fun. So they start talking about maybe uh, doing a little better with the quips. Suggests this time is personal. Says it's a reason, it's a classic, and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
Xander said that he took for granted Buffy's pun skills, but by doing that, he broke the past tense rule. And Delia, you're not supposed to say was when it comes to Buffy.
Yeah.
So Willow wonders if she knows that school's starting up. And now Oz is reminded that school is starting up. And
Mhm.
Willow thinks that, oh, he's gonna miss her and stuff like that. So she comforts him a little bit. He's gonna be lonely while she's at school. Then they leave the cemetery, and Willow starts thinking, oh, where could Buffy be at this time? Well, turns out Buffy's on the beach with Angel, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get some classic cheese here when Buffy
Mhm.
asks, "How did you find me here?" And he answers, "If I was blind, I would see you." On a scale of one, let's say 1 to 5. Let's not go crazy. 1 to 5. How much did that make you wretch? Because for me, it was a 6. It was a
I was
6.
gonna say I was gonna say a 7. Like, that
Yeah.
was the worst line I've heard in a long time.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't great. He tells her he'll never leave, even if he kills her.
Yeah,
Ooh.
what?
Well,
Um,
it turns out she was dreaming the whole thing.
of course. Yeah.
You know, this program will sometimes make the mistake of putting Angel in sunlight, but this time it was all because of a
Yeah, it was
dream.
very clearly a dream. Before we go any further,
Oh boy,
was the intro different on this episode?
it comes up after this part, and I'm going to
Okay.
talk about it a little bit. But good eye, good eye. Yes, spoiler alert, good eye. Yeah, she just goes to look out her window. And it's a cheap little apartment she's got, and then she can look out over the ragged city street, stuff like that's
Mhm.
not great. So yes, the credits have been redone, and not just the montage of cutscenes and stuff like that, which they always do.
The music was
So
different too.
yes, well, first off, I would say that we get the actual proper logo now. So this is the first time we see this,
Yeah.
the Gothic script or whatever they call it. And then yes, they totally did remaster the theme song. It sounds so much better. This is the way it should have sounded from the beginning. They got rid of that weird little a screech sound from when it has the thing with witch and stuff like that on it. Got rid of that. It's just made it proper. Sounds fuller, much better. Two other things. David Boreanaz is still in the credits. I guess they must have forgot him. They must have forgot they just killed him off.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason why David Boreanaz should be on there. So he just guest starred in this one brief scene. Also, Seth Green is added to the titles this year. So there you go. So yeah, so that's it for the credits. Yeah, good eye on the credits. Now we get to see Buffy at her first real job, doing some waitressing. Like, you've been to Los Angeles. I have not.
Yeah.
It sure looks like it's a down home, kind of like a quaint farm community there. Everyone has like trucker hats and pickup trucks.
Yeah, I
Go to the diner.
I don't know why they were dressed the way they were dressed, these people in this diner, but I didn't see anyone that looked like that while I was in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's odd. All right, maybe there might be some area, like, I don't know, like Hickton, New Hicktown. So there's a couple of easily, I'll say, middle-aged guys sexually harassing her. It was 1998.
Utterly gross.
Yeah, she does refrain from tearing one in half when he slaps her ass.
Yeah.
Well, maybe sometimes it's okay to tear an asshole in half, but there you go. Now, she goes and walks up to this young couple that's sitting there. The guy looks incredibly baked. Like, yes. I'm pretty sure, like, he forgot that he was acting in a minute, just went out to go smoke a quick doobie. You know what I mean? The wacky tobacco, Adelia.
Yeah.
So, she asks what they want. The girl would like some cake. He says that's stupid, which was jarring, because he only has maybe about $1.45 in change or so. Then he just asked for pie. Buffy doesn't look at this little bit of change and say, you don't have enough for pie. I'll get you a nice cold glass of water or something like that. She just starts going, we have a peach pie, but she isn't sure that there's actual peach in it. If there isn't peach, I don't want to know what's in it. Anyways.
Don't want to know what's in it either.
Yeah. So the guy is played by Chad Todhunter. I don't know if you recognized him at all.
No.
But I'm sure Ferris would have, because he was in NCIS LA, CSI Miami, CSI New York. God,
every guest star that comes on this series is in Ferris's
NCIS.
Yeah.
He was in Party of Five for a while. So there you go. I watched Party of Five, but
I never watched Party of Five. So.
How dare you, madam? All right. It turns out he and his girl spent all their money on humongous matching tattoos.
Yeah.
Those aren't like $14 tattoos, I'm gonna tell you.
No. I totally recognize that girl from the earlier episode.
Did you? Okay, good. I was gonna ask that in 1 second. So it's a great big heart, like the entire inside of their forearm done in this thing. Half a heart each, so they can put it together and stuff like that. One says Ricky, and then the other one says the girl's name, Lily. And when we put it together, it's a whole heart. Oh, isn't that adorable?
No. As someone who has tattoos and gets tattoos, I would never in my right mind tattoo something like that on me.
Yeah,
ever.
It's pretty ridiculous. Anyways, Lily asks if she knows Buffy. I mean, Anne. Her name's Anne now.
Anne.
She says she doesn't think so. Goes off to get their pie. So, I still don't know how they can afford this pie. Anyways,
I mean, I can understand that if it's just a small diner, because I mean, even around here, sometimes there's still a slice of pie is less than $2.
I guess I have to also imagine it was 1998. That's 1998.
It was also 1998.
That's 1998 pie. It probably goes for $1. Who knows?
Yeah.
So anyways, she takes their order. I don't know if she actually gives it to the diner, because she just goes up to her coworker, says, I'm not feeling too good. Can you cover for me? No, this waitress looks, she's been at that diner for a while. Just says, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that happens these days. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, I have a life too. Anyways, I thought it was a pretty nice coworker she got there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna head back to Sunnydale here quick, to the library where Willow fills Giles in on their failure from the night before.
They are talking so openly about vampires in this library that clearly, for once, has other people in it.
Yeah.
Like, what on earth?
It's Sunnydale. It's the whole Sunnydale rule, I guess, where
No one
you
can
forget
hear
things
them
15 minutes
speak,
later.
apparently. Yeah.
Ridiculous. Anyways, he just tells them if they died, he'd feel somewhat amiss.
Yeah, nice, Giles. Nice.
I think we could feel the same way. Luckily, though, part of their mission statement is "Don't get killed."
I mean, that's gonna work.
Yeah, I think that's part of our mission statement as well.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
far, so good. So far, so good. Cordy now walks in, fills Willow in on her Mexican vacation. Turns out she's not a big fan of organized fun, Adelia.
I'm not surprised at that.
No. Or huge cockroaches, I guess, as well. Yeah.
Who would be a fan of that? Like,
I don't know. Xander probably knows somebody. You know what I mean? Yeah. Asked if she's seen Xander and stuff like that, and if he met anybody over the summer, then thinks it's ridiculous. The only people he'd meet are monsters, but he's always been attracted by monsters, like I was just saying.
mm-hmm.
So she wonders if Xander's forgotten about her. But then Willow's noticed someone else at school. It doesn't matter what Cordy's saying anymore because Oz is there.
Oz is there, yeah.
Yeah. Not to visit her, though, Adelia.
No.
Turns out he had to go to summer school to graduate because of all the classes he missed, and then
didn't go to summer school.
Forgot to go to summer school, which is very odd. She isn't very happy. I'll say she isn't angry with him, but not incredibly proud.
I love how Oz keeps saying, "I was hoping you'd find it cute."
Yeah, maybe she does deep down, but surface wise, no. Xander comes by asking about Cordelia's whereabouts now. He says he's psyched. This is a different acting Xander than we're used to. And of course, they ask if his hair is fine. It is. We get to see Larry again quick, and he's very excited.
I loved his line about how they have a chance this year if there's no more mysterious deaths.
Yeah, they're gonna rule if there's no more mysterious deaths. Cordy and Xander finally meet up at the spacious and comfortable student lounge. It's awkward.
It's very
all awkward. This talk where they miss each other so much. It's a little awkward, so they just end up walking away.
Mm-hmm.
We go back to Buffy. She's alone in her place. The can of I'm guessing that's a can of soup or something that she has there. Now you see her walking down a pretty bleak street after this. You get to see some dude just handing out flyers to some of the I don't know what you say, the unhoned people now. There's a scared looking woman here that's saying she's no one, Adelia.
Mm-hmm.
So we cut back to the library again quick. Giles is now off to Oakland because he's following up a lead that, there was a girl there who fought off a bunch of vampires. Willow and Xander don't look hopeful by this. They're already defeated by this, it seems. Mm-hmm. And Xander feels bad that Giles keeps getting his hope up. But Willow's glad that he's still looking. And she's also wearing that purple hat again, Adelia.
Mm-hmm.
Purple hat could have its own show, in my opinion. Anyways, Willow asks Xander if he thinks maybe Giles will find her. Xander says that he thinks that he'll find her when she actually wants to be found.
Mm-hmm.
Which is true, I guess. Yeah. Except for one way. I guess if you're named after a mushroom, you can find Buffy no problem. So, back in LA. the girl from the coffee shop calls out for Anne. This is that part. Calls out for Anne a couple of times before finally saying Buffy. Turns out Lily was known as Chantrell. Remember, she hung out with Buffy's old pal Ford at the Sunset Club. That worked out pretty good. Personally, I'm just saying this. If we're going to have anybody back from that episode, I'd rather it have been Diego.
Yeah.
But I think, I think Lily was just fine in this episode. She did a good job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyways, Buffy's worried that she may have told somebody who she is. Lily said she didn't even tell Ricky. She tells her she knows how it is when you've got to get lost, Adelia.
Yeah.
Turns out she's homeless as well. She asks how Buffy came up with Anne. Buffy just tells her it was her middle name. She says Ricky picked her name from a song, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what song. I was going to look up a bunch of.
I don't know what song that could possibly be.
And when that Ricky would know. Anyways, Buffy informs her that Chantrell is the name of an exotic mushroom.
Yeah.
Which is nice. At least it's an exotic mushroom. Buffy asks her real name. Doesn't get an answer from her. She's too shy to ask. Then Lily asks Buffy to go to a rave, of all things.
Yeah.
But Buffy'd have to pay because she's broke. Buffy doesn't want to go. Still offers to give Lily money, though.
Mm-hmm.
Lily turns it down. Then another old man bumps into them and tells them he's no one. There's a pattern of this forming.
Definitely a pattern here.
Yeah. He stops walking in the middle of the road like most people do. You know what I mean?
Stupid.
Yeah, and about to get run over by another Los Angelenan, is that how you say it? With a pickup truck. Of course, this is a very well-lit street. And he's the only thing in the middle of it. There's no other cars around. So Buffy has to push him out of the way. Buffy ends up getting smoked by this truck, but lucky she's a superhero.
Yeah.
She gets up.
She is lucky.
Yeah. Driver says, oh, I didn't see you. And it's like, what? Whatever. So Buffy runs off. She can't handle this stuff. There's too many people milling around. She eventually bumps into the man who's passing out those flyers. Another cheesy line here. And then he asks her where she's running to, or maybe more importantly, Adelia, where she's running from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good old Ken. Being creepy as hell.
Yes. I thought he did a great job. He says that she has the look of someone who had to grow up way too fast. I was like, all right. Yeah.
Also creepy.
That's when he introduces himself as Ken, hands her the flyer. Now, the flyer, I don't know if you paused to read it, because don't worry, I did. It says, come home to family home.
Yeah, I did see the family home part. Like
where the light is always on. There's just like a drawing of a house.
Yeah.
Its address and phone number is on the bottom of it. Beside the thing that's beside the drawing of the house, it just says our house. All right.
It looked like really bad clip art.
Yes, 100% it looked like bad clip art. Or maybe it's in 1998. That was probably great clip art. Who knows?
I mean,
but
maybe.
Weren't they just supposed to walk around with the flyer and match it up to the house that looks exactly like the picture?
Well, he did give the address, so
maybe they can't read. That's why the picture's so big and it says our house. Who knows? There's also a silhouette of a man picking up a child.
Of course.
All right. Yeah. He tells her to stop by. More cheese here. And though she may not be hungry, Delia, she may find something she's missing. So there you go.
I mean, that did happen, basically.
I guess you're right. Ken is played by Carlos Jacot.
Okay.
He'll go on also. It's one of those actors that plays two different roles in the universe because he also goes on to play Richard Straley in Angel and he's done again. Another. They just find these guys that have been everywhere. Seinfeld, the Larry Sanders Show, which is awesome,
Mhm.
and of course CSI and CSI Miami, just for Ferris.
Of course, just for Ferris.
Buffy says she's all right. Then he tells her that kids get old out there. A little foreshadowing, and that the
Mhm.
thing that sucks the life out of them is despair. More foreshadowing, and that
Mhm.
and that it ends up being the last stop for a lot of them in Delia.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing,
More
except
foreshadowing.
for all the people milling around the streets. Anyways,
Yeah.
now we get to see a montage of a bunch of the unhomed on the streets. And there's a song playing through the montage.
Mhm.
It's called "Back to Freedom," and
Oh boy.
it's by a band called Belly Love. Just so happens that's the song that's playing at the Bronze. So once again, the Bronze is playing music sung by the sleepiest bunch that you can ever get. I'll never understand why they only play ballads at the Bronze.
It
Anyways,
was very, very boring song.
at least this time it gets brought up because we get to
Yeah.
see Willow and Xander, and then he says he's glad that he showed up for depressing night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Every night seems to be depressing night there. But
Mhm.
you can be 17 years old and get tanked, I guess. Anyways, Willow wonders what Buffy's up to. Xander says that her and her friends are probably discussing her affair with Pedro the Cabana Boy and laughing about
And then he realizes
him.
she meant Buffy, not
Yeah.
Cordelia.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very funny.
Oz then shows up. They discuss their ineptitude with vampires a little bit. At least
Mhm.
Oz thinks they're doing it rhythmically, which is nice. And then
Yeah.
Xander gets an idea how they could do better. He looks over at Cordelia and he very, evilly kind of says bait. You know,
Yeah. I
it's
don't know.
not a very
That
nice thing to say.
I mean, that's your girlfriend, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, she was in Mexico. She was in Mexico, and you got to patch everything back together when that happens. So
I guess.
yeah, good scene here. Giles drops by to see Buffy's mom. Uh, I don't know. I guess it's easy to get from Sunnydale to Oakland because he's already back. Joyce is half expecting Buffy, it seems.
Mhm.
He fills her in on his, he has this empty lead. Joyce doesn't want to leave the house just in case she calls or shows up. Seems to be feeling a little guilty here, Delia, from fighting with her and telling her to leave the house. All
Mhm.
things, a lot of this could be her fault, but Giles tells her not to blame herself, which is nice. She says she doesn't. She blames
It's
him.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. And says that because of his influence and the fact that he and Buffy had a close relationship behind her back, which sounds, you know, probably worse than it actually is, I would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that he took her I'm going to say he took Buffy away from her. And he says he didn't make Buffy who she is. And Delia,
Mhm.
Lily goes to Buffy's work yet again, tells her that Ricky has been gone for more than a day, and it's not like him to do that. But Buffy says, oh, she doesn't want to get involved. Lily reminds her that she helps people, though,
Yeah.
Adelia, and she can do stuff. Buffy says she doesn't do that kind of stuff anymore. And Lily says she doesn't know what to do. Buffy softens because when she delivers that line where she doesn't know what to do, like I soften too. It's like, oh, poor Lily. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. She
Uh,
did that well.
Especially because probably not going to work out too good. So, because after this, we can go to Sue, like usual. We go to the local blood bank.
Mhm.
Every corner has one. Every corner in Los Angeles has old town style 50s diner and a blood bank. Now,
I mean, no.
I'm pretty sure.
They don't.
Listen, You may have been there, but I just watched this episode, Adelia. So we'll see who's right. Anyways,
Um, uh,
Lily and Ricky go there lots, she said, for a couple of bucks and cookies because she likes the sugar rush. I'm going to
mhm.
tell you, I don't think Ricky was just in for a sugar rush. Anyways, a
No.
doctor played by Mary Pat Green. I don't know if you recognize her, though. Again, one of those faces I recognize from so much, but I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you anything she ever did. She was in My Best Friend's Wedding. Guess which else? NCIS Los Angeles. Castle, which is in
Yeah.
Nashville. Uh, she comes up, asks if they want to donate. Lily says she wants to know about Fricky was there. She knows him. She says, but he isn't there. She checks the sheet to see when he was there the last. Then Buffy tells Lily they should kind of split up so they can cover more ground. And so naturally, Lily asks to go with her. I don't think she understands
Don't think she understood that at all.
the split up part. I think she had a little trouble with. She tells Lily they'll both go to their hangouts separately, then meet back at Buffy's. The doctor comes back. I'm assuming it's a doctor. Is that a doctor or a tech?
I think
I
it's
don't
just
know.
tech.
I don't know who runs blood banks. Can't trust them
I think
anyways.
that
Anyways,
I'm pretty sure that there's a doctor at a blood bank, but I don't think she was a doctor.
right. Okay, well, maybe. Doctor comes back to tell them that he
Nurse,
hasn't been
maybe?
there. Maybe. Anyways, Buffy and Lily leave, but Adelia. As soon as they leave, the doctor's mood kind of changes, and there's
Mhm.
some ominous music. One
Boy,
thing,
I wonder why.
one thing we've come to know: if there's ominous music, there's probably trouble. I'm
Yep.
just saying that they don't do that for birthday parties. Back on the streets, Buffy finds a spot in an abandoned building. There's some people milling about. Guess what? Ominous music starts playing.
Mhm.
Uh, then she just comes across what I'm assuming is a dead old man with a bottle of drain cleaner beside him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know it's drain cleaner because it just clearly on the label says drain cleaner.
Drain cleaner.
Yet she goes to check his pulse and notices an awfully large half heart on his forearm. The
That says
name
Lily.
Lily in it. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's a very common tattoo. That could be anybody.
No, it's not.
Okay. She goes back to her place to tell Lily the bad news.
Mhm.
It's really good. Again, Lily was really good in this scene as well. She's, it's hard when she says, but who's going to take care of me? Buffy says that he looked 80 years old and that it couldn't be a vampire that drained him. Lily says she doesn't understand because Ricky never did anything wrong. Buffy starts getting a little curt with her here. I say curt
Yeah.
because I'm a 50-year-old man. And that was, I think, a more common term at one point. Yeah, Buffy's not the best here. Let's just say
No.
that.
No.
Yeah. Tells her that she's going to have to deal with it. She has just found out that her partner or whatever, tattooed life partner or something like that, died merely a minute before. But she's going to have to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That these things happen all the time and you can't hope them away. Maybe Buffy should start listening to her own words. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Yeah. Lily asks if it's because of Buffy, since she knows about monsters. Maybe they followed her there, which is, I think, a valid point.
It's
You
a
know what I
valid
mean?
point. Yeah, for sure.
Buffy gets even more angry with her, saying she brought nothing and just wanted to be left alone. And if Lily can't deal, she shouldn't lay that on her, Adelia.
Yeah.
Anyways, Lily leaves. Then Ken walks up to her on the street. Good old Ken. You know what I mean? He's just trying to help kids.
No, he's
Probably.
not.
What? Says so here. Looks like he's just off trying to help kids. He's offering her hope. Offering her hope. How can that be so terrible? Lily then mentions Ricky and Ken asks if she's Lily. She could have probably just told him from the forum. Then Ricky's talked about her, and he's staying with them. So, good news. I told you it was a very common tattoo.
No,
She
it's
says that
not.
she says that Buffy said he was dead. Ken calls it a tall tale, and that Ricky's no more dead than he is. And he doesn't look like he's dead to me. He offers her to come with him, and she accepts. So, how could a place called Family Home be terrible?
Oh, I
You
wonder. We're
know?
about to find out.
Well, meanwhile, Buffy is kind of turning back into Buffy because she's broken into the blood bank. She
Mm-hmm.
finds Ricky's file, the first drawer she ever looked at. She finds it very quickly and has the word candidate written on it.
Mm-hmm.
That tech, nurse, doctor, whoever it is, walks back in, asks what she's doing. Buffy lets her know exactly what she's doing. She's
Yeah.
breaking into their place so she can steal his file. That she then says she's going to call the police. So Buffy
It
breaks.
just tears it off the wall.
We can only assume that's the only phone they have in that entire blood bank.
Yeah.
Because that's all it would do. Oh, you just rendered the one single phone we have in this entire blood bank inoperable. And notices that there are lots of candidates in these files. And figures they're all missing too. So the text says she's going to go get herself into trouble by messing around with this kind of stuff, Adelia. Buffy says she doesn't want trouble, but she keeps getting it. She's willing to share it now, though. Which is nice. Sharing is caring. So the text starts fessing up. Is that she gives the names of the healthy ones to someone. But that's the end of that scene. Because we cut to Ken over at Family Home. And maybe you're right. Maybe there's something amiss with Ken.
Maybe, just maybe.
He's at Family Home with Lily. Now she's changing some kind of raggedy outfit.
But why is there a cleansing ceremony for people here?
Well, yeah, it's a I don't know. Listen, I don't know what your family was like, but we had cleansing ceremonies inside of a black pit all the time.
No.
You never had that?
No.
Maybe it might be a Canadian thing. Ken promises that she'll see Ricky afterwards. We have to go back to Sunnydale now.
Oh,
Cordy's lamenting being bait once again. Xander asks if she can complain any louder so that all the vampires leave. Oz, Willow, and he are all packing steaks now. Cordy follows Xander. They bicker. He wants her to go someplace else. It's a lot like Lily and Buffy in that scene. And so, naturally, she asks the plan. Xander says it's having a vampire attacker, kill her, and then everyone rejoices.
A wonderful thing to say to your girlfriend.
Yeah, they continue on. We're starting to see Willow become quite annoyed with the two of them. And a vampire creeping up behind them. Not good. And we go back to Family Home now. Ken's about to begin the cleansing. Lily's in front of that pool. She says that the pool looks dirty.
Boy, I wonder why.
I don't know how she considered that water. But luckily, Buffy's arrived there. She's decided, what's with all the sin here, Adelia? And that she's dirty from all the sex and envy and the loud music that kids listen to in those days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what is it? That Freedom song. Ugh. Anyways, the two rubes at the door don't seem to be buying it, though. She admits that she sucks and undercover, which is true. This is a pattern of Buffy never really being great at it. She asks where Ken is and forces her way in when they try to close the door on her. Ken, no. I was going to say Kenny, like I know the guy personally. Ken watches as Lily touches the tar water or whatever. Buffy busts in, asks how they make the mold. Does he feed on their youth? And he asks Buffy if she really wants to know. Lily asks what's going on, then gets sucked into the pit. Buffy goes after her, grabbed by Ken, and then they fall together into the pit, which is nice. But yeah, and they're gonna go on in a second. I'll talk about it. They go on and say the time works different there. How a whole one day there is like 100 years
Yeah.
up on Earth or whatever it is. You'd figure that Lily would just start aging quicker. That's all. The only thing that goes into my head throughout this whole thing is why aren't they aging quicker while they're down there? I didn't get it. Anyways,
Maybe because they never start working.
yeah, oh, maybe it's the work. Maybe you're right. I think you get it. So Ken's complaining about his face. How it hurts, Adelia.
Yeah.
Then asks them if they have any idea how hard it is to glue this thing on, and he pulls his skin mask off.
Ugh.
I'm assuming that was your favorite part of this whole show.
No, it was not.
Okay. Yeah, he sort of looks like a Freddy Krueger mixed with like one of those Titans from Attack on Titan. Same voice though, which is very off-putting. Like it doesn't get like a demon voice. It's still that same middle of the road white guy voice or whatever. Then calls for the guards, which is very fun. I don't know. Whenever anyone calls just for guards, I think it's funny. They're you know. I think this whole bunch of them aren't looking all that great, if you ask me. Buffy and Lily run off. Now looks like they're in some kind of subterranean smelting or iron ore factory or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. There's a bunch more guards around. They're ensuring that these humans work there. Ken walks up behind them, welcomes them to his world, which is nice. You know, if you're gonna have guests at your place, at least welcome them.
Yes.
But then he knocks out Buffy with a club, which isn't as nice.
No.
And then he says that they're never gonna leave. Also not very nice. Maybe Ken's not so nice. You know what I mean?
Ken is not very nice.
I think you were right. So we have to go back to Sunnydale for a minute because Cordy and Xander are still bickering, which is, their way. Xander thinks that she's forgot about him before the plane even took off, Adelia. And then she thinks that he hooked up with an Inca mummy girl because she heard about that. What would the odds of that happening again? I'd say slight. I'd say slight. Yeah. I wouldn't say zero. I'd never say zero. But Willow starts calling for help. They come running. Oz gets there first somehow. Throws the vamp off, but Oz gets pushed aside. Xander starts grappling with him. Has the stake pointed at him, kind of like that first episode with his poor buddy. Has the stake pointed at his chest. They're wrestling. Cordy calls for him, runs after him, bumps at him. I'm assuming just kind of trips into the vampire. Yeah. They fall down. The stake goes into the vampire. He explodes. Now, luckily for Cordelia, somehow the stake also explodes.
Yeah.
Into nothing.
Yeah.
Because for sure she was going to die at that moment. Yeah. But it does explode as well as the vampire. Here comes the swell, the flourish of music. And Xander and Cordelia are kissing once again. It is something that never gets old in my book. I love the music flourish when those two get together. So there you go. Yeah. We go back to where Buffy is. Now, I'm assuming it's a kind of like a hell dimension. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's under family home. She starts coming to. She's locked up with Lily. Lily says that somehow she knew she'd end up there and that she belonged there. There meaning hell, Adelia. Buffy says, whoa. It's not hell. But Ken, of course, walks in just at this time, saying that he disagrees, says, what is hell? But the absence of all hope, you know what I mean? Well, I don't know. And that Lily's right. She was headed there her whole life. So, yeah, that Ken guy, I was wrong. I was way off about
Very wrong about him.
Yeah, he says that it's just like Ricky, who she's told eventually forgot about her. But he does say nicely that, he remembers her name longer than he remembered his own name. So, Ken's it's like a seesaw. So that's when they're told that time passes faster here and that they'll be back in their world. That each Earth day is 100 years down there. They're gonna die of old age before anyone even realizes they're gone. Adelia. But Buffy reminds him that he didn't choose her, and she's the chosen one, so it must be different for
Mhm.
her. He says that he knows her, but like knows no.
Yeah,
Yeah, that she's determined to run away. Like, they keep hammering this stuff over the head. Eh? They just keep,
they do. Yeah.
like we get it, guys, by now. That she's gonna. What was I saying? That she's going to keep running away from whoever she's supposed to be and disappear. Then he congratulates her for getting her wish, which is again, it's a nice thing to say. It's a nice one. And so we then see another gross dude. I'm sure this guy was your favorite
No.
because this guy has like a skin mask that's like
Mhm.
half of a old waterlogged football pulled over his head.
Yeah, it was not pleasant.
Yeah, tells him to work. And he says that just can work, nothing else, or else they're gonna they'll kill him or something like that. So then
Mhm.
uh, he goes up to one guy, asks him who he is, says his name is Aaron. So he clubs him to death. One
Mhm.
swipe, just bam. And then he asks Lily who she is. She says no one. Asks another person again. Says no one. Then asks Buffy. What does Buffy answer?
Buffy the
She
Vampire
answered.
Slayer.
She answers the name of the show. She's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and you are. And now she's finally Buffy again. He goes to club her, but then him and his two ugly friends forget that. So they get taken out by good old Buffy. She
Mhm.
leads her fellow captives away, minus Aaron. You know, there's no saving him after the sound that that made. It's like
Yeah,
not great.
poor Aaron.
Yeah. R.I.P. Aaron. Too soon. She finds a spot, tells Lily to take the others, and run when the coast is clear. Oh, dear.
Mhm.
An alarm starts going off for some reason. Lily apologizes for what she said to Buffy as Buffy gets chased by two guards through the factory floor now. She finds, luckily for us, a lit stage to start
Yeah,
one.
like there's just this platform that she
Yep, yep,
can
with a
fight
big
everyone
lighting above.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna film a music video there later. Lily starts leading people away. More guards start attacking now. Buffy's fighting with a hammer that she found on the ground.
Mhm.
Ken is perplexed that a human is fighting back. Doesn't happen often, I guess. A guard attacks him or attacks her. Sorry, with something called I think it's called a hunga munga. It's like
Okay.
a an African knife axe, like a throwing knife axe.
Okay.
Sh- She has no problem. She defeats him and takes it. Then Hero poses with it. And
Mhm.
the deal is, again, they're putting layers and stuff. She is now holding in this hero pose a hammer and a sickle.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Captain Communism right now, where the worker are gonna take care of the elite and stuff like that, which is essentially what happens. Like,
Mhm.
spoiler alert, guess what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So the guards indeed keep coming. Buffy's fighting them all off. Ken's starting to get annoyed now, though. Leaves his perch that he's at. Eventually, the guards grab her, finally overtake her. Lily's still leading a few of the workers to safety, but Ken catches her somehow and puts a knife to her throat.
Mhm.
And it's a big knife. Like, I don't know where you got this
Big
thing.
knife. Yeah.
Yeah, Buffy's starts to fight free. Is now running through the factory floor again. Not concerned about the knife. Yep.
No.
Yep. And she then sees Ken with Lily. There's a little hostage now. He says, "If one of you fights, you all die," which isn't great. Let's
No.
Lily go. He lets Lily go.
Let's Lily go. Big
Yeah,
mistake.
yeah. He says that it's not permitted. And then Buffy gets captured again. Says it was fun though. Whatever, right?
Mhm.
He says she's got guts and that he'd like to tear her open and play with them. So again, you're probably right. You know,
Yeah.
Ken doesn't sound. He doesn't sound, ideal.
No.
She starts going on about the price of rebellion. Ken just communism stuff. When Lily then decides, she's had enough of this, marks this stuff and pushes him off this ledge. There's no safety rail. There was no
There are
safety
no
rail. Like
safety rails at
what
all.
kind of factory are they running over there? Anyways, Buffy breaks free. Once again, runs up to Lily, goes up the thing because luckily there's no safety rails, but there's a chain. She then lets they start running more. There's a huge iron gate that Buffy, because she's a superhero, struggles a little bit to lift, but she does. She says it's really working the abs and glutes. I would imagine so.
Yeah.
She gets the prisoners out, and then Lily gets out, but somehow, even though Ken has been dropped, at least 2 stories, I would imagine, to the floor.
Yeah. There he is, right behind him.
Right behind him, tackles Buffy through, helps out, kind of tackles Buffy through, and then the gate comes down, impaling both his legs.
Yeah.
You don't just walk it off. I'm going to say that.
No.
He's a little stuck there. Anyways, he tells her that she ruined everything. Now, I don't get this at all. This is one line that Buffy says that I'll never understand. She asks if he wants to see her imitation of Gandhi.
Yeah, this line, ever since the first time I ever saw this episode back when it aired, I've always been like, what?
Yeah. You want to see my imitation of Gandhi, and then crushes his head with that club.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah. Then Lily asks Gandhi, and Buffy's like, yeah, Gandhi was really pissed off.
I mean, he was, but he wouldn't have clubbed him
To
death.
be fair, Buffy's not a great student. I think
No,
we've gone
she's
over
not.
this before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, the people that Buffy and Lily were with managed to escape, but as soon as Buffy gets out, the portal seals. So I guess everybody else that was working there, whatever.
They're lost, I guess.
They were going to be lost anyways. To be
Yeah.
fair,
Yeah.
maybe Buffy should realize she can't save everybody. Now we go back to Buffy's apartment. She's giving Lily the tour. Of course, Lily had already been there. You'd imagine the tour happened before.
Yeah.
Anyways, she tells her that the rent's been paid for the next 3 weeks. She decided she was going to get Lily the job over at the diner where she worked at. She said the owner's a bit of a pig, but he's fine or whatever. So, all right. Buffy tells her that she's going to come and check up on her. Spoiler alert.
Check up on her.
Yeah.
Not come, call.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, call. Spoiler alert. We
does
don't
not
see
happen. Yeah.
We don't see it. We will see her again. Not this show. Anyways, Lily asks if it's okay if she becomes Anne now. And she does. So there you go. They fade. Goes back to the Summers kitchen. Joyce is fixing the dishwasher with a fork.
Yeah, I don't know what she was doing there.
Trying to get herself electrocuted, I'm sure. She hears a knock at the door. Pauses, of course. Then walks slowly there. Swings the door open and sees her daughter. One thing I want to see real quick. Do you think she did that every time just so that when she did it, it was more dramatic? Everybody who did that for the last 3 months, knocking the door, it's like the mailman or something like that, or Girl Guides. Ugh. Anyways, they hug. The episode ends. Now, Buffy's back to Sunnydale. Couple of things. We're at the end of the episode. Couple of things. I don't know if you noticed, but on the end title credits or whatever, and credits, I guess not title credits, there is a new executive story editor named Jane Espenson.
No, I didn't watch the end credits.
Her name is going to come up, I think, quite a few times in this show. As well, there's another story editor named Doug Petrie. Doug Petrie, again, a name will come up with more. I'll talk about them more when they start getting to possibly more advanced roles in this show.
Mhm.
Anyway, next time, Adelia, oh boy, we have an episode for you. Dead Man's Party.
Oh, it sounds lovely already.
Oh, I'm sure you'll remember it when you see it. What's the name of that lady? Joyce? Yeah, Joyce. Whatever. Anyways, Buffy's back in Sunnydale with her
Mhm.
friends. Looks like everyone, is everything the same? Going to be the same in Sunnydale? We'll see. Of course, there's this season and 4 others to go, so hopefully they can get back to normal soon. But Adelia, thanks so much for talking about Anne with me.
Of course.
Can you let everybody know where they can find you on the good old Let's Get It Ready network?
You can find me over on the Highlights channel with Snark every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, doing starting 11, our English Premier League recap show. Some big games this weekend, including Arsenal going to Man City. So we'll see how happy I am by the time Tuesday rolls around.
Yeah.
And then eventually we'll be back with the open table, 8 p.m. Pacific on Fridays. Not sure when we're doing that. Ferris and I are also getting back to doing the In the Arena Serena Williams reviews on the Highlights channel.
Sure.
We missed some time there because my internet was not working very well for a few
What?
weeks. I know, it's shocking.
You mean your reliable Midwest internet?
No, it's not reliable at all.
No,
So we'll get back to that here soon, and some other stuff coming maybe that's exciting. So Snark, where can people find you?
Here Thursdays,
Yeah,
Rewatch
here.
Council. You mentioned Tuesdays, weekends. When we can, we do LGRN after Snark. That's the show I do with Danny. No show this weekend. I think we're doing the show the weekend following though, so that'll be fun. What else? You guys are also doing lots of things for the channel. Like you're starting to go over Agatha now, right?
Yeah, we did Agatha all along. The post-credits episode on that went up last night. Tonight, we'll do episode 6 of season 2 of Rings of Power.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots of stuff
right.
going on.
Too fun. I really like that first season of Rings of Power, but I still have not watched a single episode of season 2. I'll get around to it. I just have to find the time. Right now, I'm too busy with Buffy. I just want to watch Buffy all the time. There you go.
Okay.
Well, speaking of which, time to get back to Buffy. I'll be seeing you all next time on the Rewatchers Council, everybody. Bye-bye.